Y'all hear me? So it says the orientation is locked. It don't want to let me orientate, huh? See what it does. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. I don't want to. I like it like that. Good. Why? Is that messing it up? Tell me if it's messing it up. Because it's telling me to rotate my device back, but I don't want to. What y'all doing, baby? First day out, back on YouTube. Wesley, what up, baby? Good to see you. Good to see you. My homie, I missed you. Can you hear me, Wesley? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm sideways? Okay, here we go. Here, we'll put it like that. Like that. Can you hear me though? Is the audio good? And we'll set this joint up like this. Right next to the bird feeder. My grandma used to have these bird feeders. Get that light, please, out of here. Oh, Wesley, OC74. I see Timmy. Damn. Timmy's right there. Right? 420. Good to see you. OC. Robert Stump Gamboa. Robert Stump Gamboa. What a name. Stump. Stump. What y'all doing? We about to get it cracking tonight. I don't know if anybody else was live. I should have checked if anybody else was live. I could have tried to jump on somebody else's live stream, but I was like, I just got to do it. I got to get on here. I got to see what's up. I got to talk to my people. Thank you, OC. Been in the county a couple months. These fools were tripping, homie. $50,000 bond. Not even, I'm not violent. Non-violent, $50,000 bond. Are you serious? That's crazy. But that's all right, though. Looks like we're going to avoid prison on this one. Timmy, what up, baby? It's good to see you from you. Man, it's been crazy out here in Denver, dog. It's wild. It's wild. And Ricky Bobby on Vegas profile stories, he left some poop in the streets out here, homie. He needs to come clean up. Like him to come back, come talk to us. Yeah, free Gangish. Thank you, Wesley. I sent an invitation to Weavy just because it was like, if you want to send an invitation to somebody, I don't know if Weavy can jump on or not, but if he can, that's what's up. Yeah, I'll hit you up, Timmy, for sure. Denver made. They had me out in Douglas. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been meaning to come back on here, but life been crazy. Life been hectic. Doing too much. It's my own fault. Ain't no excuses. It's my own fault. You know what I mean? My phone's messing up right now. It keeps putting this thing on the screen, telling me it's going to shut me down. But see, I don't even think you guys can see it. I can see it though. So I can't even see myself. I'm going to tell y'all a story tonight though. Not about any of the crimes I was charged with because I'm still being charged with those crimes. So we're going to have to let the material facts, they're going to have to prove the material facts. The DA is going to have to work for that. They're not going to get it off YouTube. I'm going to tell y'all a story about a friend I tried to help. Stabbed me in the back. YouTuber. Not happy with. Miss Dang, what are you doing? Good looking out. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate everybody. Man, it's been wild out here, you know? Whenever Rick from Vegas Profile Stories, whenever his wife didn't want him around anymore. I said, that's all right, brother. Come with me, right? Come hang out with me. You're my homie. I got a bed for you. I got a room for you. I'll take you in. Because that was my homie. I trusted him, right? A couple months back, the Mexicans came to me. They said, we've been doing good business with you. We've been making a lot of money. They said, we got some things that we'd like you to sell for us. Nothing illegal, nothing like that. TJ, it's good to see you, my homie. It's good to see you. So the Mexicans come to me, they say, hey, homie, you seem to be irony. I see you. They say, we made good money with you. We want to continue to make good money with you. We want to step it up a little bit. We want to make more money with you. So they hand me some rings, very expensive rings. One's worth more than the other. One's clearly worth more than the other. Got a chunk in it, like that. Stone, natural stone, just 3 carats, right? 3 carat ruby in it. She says, I'm gonna give you this ring right here. She said, I want this much for it. Whatever you make over it, you keep. I'll break you off. This is bad, right? Well, me being a good homie, right? I call up my homie Rick from Vegas Profile Stories, and I say, hey brother, I just got blessed. These Mexicans just dropped something in my lap. They look out for me, right? They trust me. So won't you sell this thing? Easy to sell. The thing will sell itself. It's gold, right? Gold sells itself. Says, I'm gonna shoot you this ring. You sell it, and we'll split the profit. This is how much they want. Whatever we get over that, we split it up, right? So I send him the pictures. He puts it up for auction, sells it. Get a good price for it. It's more than enough profit for everybody. I mean, I didn't even have to give him anything, right? But this is my homie, right? I could have kept all that profit for myself. But this is my dude. So I says, hey, homie, I got you, right? I'm going to cut you in because I've been blessed, right? Because my name's good, right? And you out here riding on my name. You and Denver riding on my name because I told you to come out here. We auction it off. Good profit. He says, okay, send it. Drop it in the mail, send it. So I do. It gets there. He gets paid. We get the verifications and all of that good shit. Rick sends me a very small portion of what he owes me. About what would he send me? What would that be as far as the percentage is concerned? It would be maybe 30% of what he's supposed to give me. It disappears. So now I'm left holding the bag with these Mexicans, right? In my own city. I can't go nowhere. These are dangerous people. This fool just disappears on me. Gives me some drag. He finally answers the phone. Gives me some drag about, I don't know, about his car messing up or something. They were going to take his car. Some nonsense, right? He's gacked out of his mind. And that's neither here nor there. I was messing up too, you know. That's a big reason I wasn't on YouTube. Because I have a problem with people giving me money whenever I'm doing drugs, right? I don't want to take donations whenever I'm doing drugs. Because it's inevitable that if you're getting donations on YouTube and you're using drugs, you're going to spend people's donations on drugs, right? And I didn't think that was ethical. That's why I've been gone for the last year. I'm a drug addict with some ethics for some goddamn reason, right? So this fool disappears on me, leaves me hanging. I tell the Mexicans what happened. They say, we've done good business with you so far, and we believe you. So because I'm solid, I don't lie, I don't do dope fiend shit, I'm gonna be okay, right? No thanks to Rick, my friend, who I let live in my house. I looked out for him. He never paid me any damn rent. That's neither here nor there. Let him live in my house, rent free. Well, it wasn't rent free. He just didn't pay his damn rent. He's just gonna leave me hanging with these people. Not to mention the fact I already told you. I already told him about the other ring they were gonna drop on me. That was worth way more. These rings are worth thousands of dollars. Right? This was a come up, and I wanted to look out for my homie. Right? Because that's what homies are supposed to do. I didn't have to do anything with Rick. I could have kept all of it for myself. This fool's supposed to have bolts. This fool's tipped up, right? There's a certain level of decorum in politics, right? In prison politics, criminal politics, call it whatever you want. You're supposed to act a certain way, right? You expect a certain amount of decency from people when they're clicked up. This fool stole grandma's purse. You know what I mean? Grandma passed out, and this fool stole grandma's purse and raided her medicine cabinet for all the medication, dog. As far as I'm concerned, like as soon as there was some money on the table, as soon as there was some real money on the table, this fool burned me, dog. That's what that's what Vegas Profile Stories does to his friends. Hit them likes, man. Run them likes up. We got 14 in there. Hit them likes. I can't believe he did it to me. Imagine that, Miss Thing. I let him do it to me. I let him do it to me, right? Because this is my never in a million years did I think this fool would have done that, right? I wouldn't think he would do that. I never even would have cut him in if I had even thought he would do something like that. Me and this fool been getting it together, right? We've been getting money together. On them likes up. I'd have busted somebody's ass for this dude, right? Quick. No questions asked. Ricky Bobby was good out here. That's what we call him out here, Ricky Bobby. He was good out here. He was safe. He was good. Oh, Jack's good. Jack's always good. Jack's with my ex-girlfriend down in the Springs. She bringing him up probably not tomorrow, probably the next day. Yeah, Jack's always good. Jack got popped with me, if you really want to know. Jack had to do a day or two in jail. Or my ex could go get Jack was in the whip with me whenever I got popped. Right? But Jack's doing good though. He's chilling. Jack's the real star, right? Right, May? So I don't know where Ricky Bobby is. Run them likes up. But it'd be nice if Ricky Bobby come clean this up. You know what I mean? He's got some things to clean up out here. Never handles business. I mean, we don't, you know, I ain't gonna do nothing to him or nothing like that. But I mean, come on, homie. That's not what solid woods are supposed to do. That's the type of wood they grow in Vegas. I don't know, right? Certain level of respect, you know. And on top of that, like I said, I gave you a place to live, homie. Like, Rick hurt my feelings, dog. I'm gonna tell you like that. I'm gonna tell you like that, dog. The dude who's supposed to be solid, homie, his fool hurt my feelings a little bit. But I'm not gonna rant and rave about that. I'll make another video about that later. We'll get on to that later. Yeah, see, there's a reason I left him alone, but I'm sorry he did this to you. Thank you, Miss Thang. Yeah, I don't know, you know. And he did some faulty shit before. Whenever he first got out here, he did some rookie shit. And I got in his ass about it, you know what I mean? And the homie even told me, he's like, man, that was really like, like some cheesy shit that he did, dog. And it was. It was. I let it go, you know. I let it go. Thank you, Miss Thang. I love you. Hell yeah. It was like, I'm not gonna get into it too much, you know what I mean? But Ricky Bobby was good in Denver, homie. Because I said he was good in Denver. I introduced him to all the people he needed to know. He was safe in dangerous places. You know what I mean? He was good. Wherever he was good. He was riding on my name here, homie. And this fool made me look like a clown. Now folks are looking at me like, come on, homie. This who you brought out here? You know what I mean? Run them likes up. Just like, I don't know. He hurt my feelings, but on to bigger and better things. Enough with the chump change. You know what I mean? How's YouTube been doing, man? We about to get back at this. I'm out on bond. They finally lowered my bond to something reasonable. Got me out on bond, something I could actually afford. These bonds out here are crazy, man. Whenever they hit you these days, they hit you $50,000 bond. Who does that? Who can afford that? Who got 5 racks to just go drop real quick? Whether I'm doing good or not, I'm still from the hood. I ain't got 5 grand just sitting around. You know what I mean? Come on now. I've been in jail for 2 months, and that's another thing. That's another thing. To get back to Rick's sorry ass. I've given this fool every chance to make this right. If he'd have sent me $50 in the county, I wouldn't be making this video right now. If he'd have done anything to try to make this right, he could have brought me some merchandise and been like, my bad, homie. My bad, I messed up. You know what I mean? Anything. He could have done anything to try to make this right. and I wouldn't be making this video. But this fool ghosted me, huh? Just ghosted me. Luckily, these people, luckily, like I said, my name's good out here, right? So, these people trust me. The Mexicans trust me. They believe what I said. So I'm safe. But that's how he's gonna leave you. But he didn't know that. He don't know that I was gonna be safe, right? You just gonna leave me like that, dog? To deal with these people? I'm already going through it anyway. I'm already high. I'm not doing well anyway, right? I'm out here in the streets with the rest of them, right? Doing the most, trying to survive, right? And the streets of Denver right now are, I know Denver doesn't have a huge reputation for being the most violent place, and it's probably not the most violent place, but it's vicious out there. It's vicious out there, dog. I tell you what, the streets. I wouldn't be surprised to see Denver's numbers start approaching some of the other bad cities, because they really kind of screwed the pooch around here. The stolen car problem is ridiculous. Everybody got a stolen car out here. It's crazy. Let's say. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? 5K and my dumb ass said, no, it's my own fault. I'm not working. I wasn't working. I'm out, ripping and running the streets and doing whatever I do. That's my fault. But even whenever I was working, I didn't have an extra 5 grand just to, you know what I mean? Like it says, a bond is enshrined in the Constitution. It's one of our rights. It's not the Constitution. It's the Bill of Rights. Like one of the I don't remember what it is, the Sixth Amendment or the Fourth Amendment maybe, or the third, is like you have the right to a fair and reasonable bond. It's actually in the Constitution that, or in the Bill of Rights, that you have the right to a bond, right? $50,000. How's that reasonable? How much of the country has $50,000 just sitting around, right? Because that's what they base it off of. Like, oh yeah, I could just go down here and just pay this real quick. Who the hell has $50,000 sitting around? You know what I mean? And if you are doing good enough and you have been smart enough to squirrel a little bit away and put a little bit away, most I've ever had is like 30, right? 32, I think, or something like that. That's the most I've ever had put away. But if you were smart enough to put away 50 and have 50 squirreled away, you certainly don't want to give it to these people. Go run over here and give it to these people and then have them, I'm presumed innocent, and they take people's money all the time. Technically, if you go to court, you're supposed to get it back, right? New video. Exactly. You're supposed to get it back, but they take people's money all the time. They find ways to take people's money. It's in the paperwork that you sign, right? So even if I did have 50 grand sitting around to pay these people, I certainly don't want to give it to them, right? And then and that's my security. On top of that, that's my security blanket. If I have put away $50,000 for whatever reason, for savings or for a house or whatever, who has it to just give out, right? To just give to these people. It's not reasonable at all, you know? So luckily, they switched me judges, they switched me DAs, and I seem to actually have a really reasonable judge. I got a reasonable judge. I got a reasonable DA. She listened to what I said. I said, hey, man, I didn't even talk to you guys about this. I guess I'll talk. This is why I left YouTube. This is why I relapsed. I'm gonna tell y'all why I relapsed. One of my close homies came over, kicked it with me. We hung out. I dropped him off in a hotel room. at night because he couldn't stay there with me. He was high. He was high on drugs. I wasn't doing drugs at the time. He said, "Hey, I got to go over here. I got this chick over here in this hotel room." Da 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 da. Da. I said, "Cool, man." I'll bring him over there and find him dead the next day. Right, next morning. Rest in peace to the homie Gennaro Lovato. You can find him on my video titled Chicano Crips in Denver. There's 3 Chicano Crips on the video called Chicano Crips in Denver. 2 of them are dead. The third one's Savage Sev. Savage Sev knows what I'm talking about. There's 3 Chicano Crips on that video. I interviewed both of them. And Savage Sev. The other 2 are dead. These are motherfuckers that I've been functioning with for years. These are dudes I've been messing with. These were my dudes. From prison to the streets to relapse to sobriety to fighting with the ops. Like really like standing back to back, getting it with motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Whenever the war was hot. When the war with the G's was hot. You know what I mean? My motherfucker Gennaro's a rider. So was Dolo. So Gennaro loses his life to fentanyl. Next week, we have a wake for the homie. The homie Dolo, who's the other Chicano Crip in that video, comes over. He's a cook. He's a chef. We're both chefs, you know what I mean? Both good cooks. So he comes over, stays the night at my house. We chill out all night, blazing blunts, drinking for the homie. Cook a bunch of food. We cook a bunch of ribs, a bunch of beans, coleslaw, all that, right? Bring it to the homie's wake. Have a little thing for the homie. Like 3 days later, Dolo was crossing the street. I think he was crossing Sheridan Boulevard. This is in February, I believe. He's running across the street. He slips on some snow and he falls over. When he falls over, he tries to get up, and the drunk driver didn't even see him. Drunk driver hits him doing like 40. He never even get a chance to get up. They said his head exploded. His head didn't look right. They tried to put it back together and whatnot. It didn't look right. This was the homie that was just in my house the other day. This is all in like a 2-week period. All of this happens in like a 2-week period. Rest in peace to the homie, man. You know? And so when the homie Gennaro died, I had hooked him up with the homeboy. He came to me and he said, I'm dope sick. You know what I mean? I'm dope sick. So I brought him to the homie's house. You know? I said, well, I know where the dope is, you know what I mean? I can't help you with it. So I brought him to the spot. You find him dead the next day. So in my mind, I knew that day that I knew I would die from fentanyl. I've never been an opiate user. I mean, I take a couple Percocets or whatever. Everybody like a Percocet now and then. But I ain't never been a heroin user. I ain't never even been in the game whenever fentanyl was a thing. Fentanyl's a new thing. You know what I mean? For me. That's all new to me. But I knew that day that I would die from fentanyl. Right? And I did. The girl still in the audience, she the one who brought me back. Shout out to her. I didn't see nothing on the other side. If it is the other side, wasn't nothing but darkness. know how long we really don't know how long I was gone for. They found me on the kitchen floor. She found me on the kitchen floor. Woke up. I told her about in the joint. I told her about in the joint how we used to take cold pop. You know what I mean? Whenever a motherfucker overdose on heroin, you take a cold pop and you shove it underneath your nuts, right? So she didn't have any cold pop, so she takes a tray of ice and shoves it down my pants. So I wake up, I got ice all in my pants. You know what I mean? Wake up to this girl telling me, "Get up, fool, get up." And I remember I was kind of comfortable as I was waking up out of it. I'm like, "Nah, what the fuck? Nah, man, I'm chilling here." And then I realized what had happened. I realized I'm on the kitchen floor, right? I'm on the kitchen floor. He said, "Get up, fool." That's the only reason I'm alive right now. So by the time that happened, I felt like my debt was paid. I paid uh I paid my debt to the homie. He got my life. You know what I mean? And it's weird too because we had discussed overdosing that night. Me and him had discussed overdosing that night because I didn't know anything about fentanyl, right? And he come to me and he says, "I'm sick, brother. I need some help. I'm sick. I'm dope sick." And we talked about it. And he said, don't ever eat it. Don't ever snort it. Anything like that. He said, "I only smoke it." He said, "Because if you do a bump or you take the pill," he goes, "those are the only times I've killed myself." Right? He had just given me a big old warning about what to do and what not to do and how to do drugs. I'm not even doing drugs at the time, but I'm a curious dude. I want to know. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. I always want to know. So I talked to him about it. Run them like so. I talked to him about it. And he gave me this whole spiel about how not to die of fentanyl. We talked about it for like 20 minutes. He gave me and this man, man, the homie Gennaro, his mom died from fentanyl. Not from fentanyl, from heroin. Excuse me. His mother died from heroin. I believe his father died from heroin. Numerous people in his family, like half of his family, has died from heroin overdoses, right? And he was a heroin addict, but the blues are so much cheaper that fentanyl is so much cheaper. It's like a no-brainer. You're getting almost the same high for so much cheaper. The homie's overdosed more times than I could think of. I don't know how many times that fool's overdosed. He's overdosed again at times, right? But this time killed him. I don't know why. I think it was built up in his system. That's how I think that's how I died. Because whenever I died, I knew there was something wrong. I went to the store. I decided I wanted some dinner, right? So I shoot over to the King Supers. I shoot over to King Supers to get some pork chops, make some pork chops. I shoot over there, and I'm standing there looking at the meat, and then apparently I fall out because whenever I come to, I didn't fall out, but whenever I come to, I was ripping the package of pork chops open in the store in front of all these people. Like, what the hell am I doing? I mean, these people are looking at me like, this fool's crazy. What's this fool about to do? Like, I'm gonna steal a single pork chop. That's what it looked like. Like I was ripping the package of pork chops open just to take one and put it in my pocket or something like that. These people are looking at me like I'm crazy. I said, "Oh man, what the fuck am I doing?" Right. So I grabbed the whole package of pork chops. I throw it in the thing. The Scante warrior, orale. So I grabbed the whole package of pork chops, take it to take it, buy it. You know what I mean? I go buy it, head home, cook dinner, cook dinner. Well, I'm kind of a lightweight whenever it comes to this fentanyl stuff, right? So my chica at the time, she had some really good fentanyl, and I didn't know she had it. She didn't tell me that she had it, and probably because I didn't need it. You know what I mean? I just I'm a lightweight. I do a couple little pills. They don't even got to be great, and I'm higher than shit, right? And she was doing a lot more than me. So she had this really good shit. Well, she happened to take off to go do some other things and lost the dope at the house. So she calls me and tells me, "Hey, man, I left some shit there, right? And that's the shit that I found." So I'm over here. I don't think, you know what I mean? Of course, we all want the best dope, right? So I go get high, go to what's called, go to King Soper's, come back, cook me dinner. I ate dinner, cooked some pork chops, some asparagus, ate some dinner. Shit, I'm gonna get high again. But I should have known something was wrong whenever I nodded out in the store because I don't do that. I don't nod out in public. I'm a private user. I use it home. I don't like people knowing that I'm high. I don't like being out there in public. You see these people out there in public nodded out there smoking in the street and all that. I don't do that. I mean, I go home. Run them lights up, man. Run them lights up. So I should have known there was something wrong. That shit was building up in my system whenever I nodded out at King Soopers. Because what the hell am I doing? I'm ripping the package of pork chops open in the middle of the store, right? So I go, get done with dinner. What do you want to do when you get done with dinner? You want to smoke, right? I don't smoke cigarettes, right? So I throw a little bit on the foil, take a hit, blow it out, go to take another hit, boom, that's it. I don't even remember taking the full hit. That was it. I wake up to this girl. She had to Narcan me twice, right? Never died from drugs. Never been that type of user. I'm not an extreme uh, moderation type user. Like to make sure I continue to have drugs, right? Whenever I use drugs, I don't try not to use them all up. You know what I mean? I try, keep a little bit. You know what I mean? I like to have a little bit whenever I wake up too. Get me going on the next mission, right? That fentanyl is the purity of the drugs. The purity of the drug fentanyl can range from taking a Vicodin to killing yourself in one hit. It can all the way from that range. It can be just like, oh, I just popped a Vicodin and I get like a little warm fuzzy feeling a little bit or something. It just like takes the edge off to you're dead in one hit. That's how drastic the potency can be. That's why I've never dealt with a drug like that. Methamphetamine's not like that. Cocaine's not like that. They say that China White's like that, but it's not. I've done China White. Never killed me. Bro, what up? I can't do that with cocaine. Yeah, it's all gotta be gone. Yeah, exactly. Cocaine, you know what I mean? You're not gonna stop until it's all gone. That's the problem with cocaine, you know what I mean? Is you end up broke because you just keep doing it, you know? The coke these days is garbage, from what I could tell. Fools don't even fiend out no more. I remember whenever smokers would rob you and do all kinds of, you know what I mean? They go through the most to do some drastic shit. Crack smokers used to do some drastic shit for cocaine. They don't even do it no more. They really don't. Rocky Strong, I see you, baby. One of them likes up. Good to see you, Muhammad. Good to see all of you, Herb. I need to ranch Rocky up too. Not right now, but I will. I gotta get. I got my. This is my phone. I gotta get. I gotta get a better phone. This phone sucks. Uh, and I gotta get. I got my computer downstairs. I gotta get. I gotta get my computer set up. Hold on. I think I need to plug this phone in so it don't die on me in the middle of the stream. Hold on. And I'm gonna have to pick it up. I think because. And unless it'll. Let's see if it does this. If it just turns me upside down. Does that work? Or do I look upside down? I gotta read the comments upside down, I guess. Let me know. Oh, yeah, that don't work. Good. Oh, I guess we just gonna have to hold it. That's all right. I'll try not to do shit. But I got my computer downstairs. The homie Angelo held on to my computer for me. I went and saw him the other day. It's upside down. Facts. What up, baby? Facts way stranger than fix. I'm glad to see you still around, brother. I'm glad to see you still around. I like you. I'm not gonna say I like you. I like that you, because I don't even know you that well, but I like that you always got a different viewpoint. Your viewpoint's different than other people. You don't follow the crowd. You know what I mean? And you're not afraid to say no, 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 no. I see it this way. Fuck that. I see it this way. Whether I agree with you or not. And most of the time I don't even agree with you. But it can be annoying listening to the sheep who just go along with everything. They just go along with what everybody else says, right? That can get annoying, you know. Rocky Strong, thank you, my homie. Good looking out. Good looking out, man. This phone sucks. This shit's pissing me off. Yeah, too many yes man followers. Everybody, you know what I mean? They just want to. Yeah, echo chambers are lame. Exactly. Exactly. It's like what? Oh, and then you know what I mean. And you can always tell whenever you're in an echo chamber because whenever you say something that everybody doesn't agree with, it doesn't toe the line. It's like the music stops, and they're like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Who wants to do that? We just gonna sit around and fucking jack each other's dicks all the time. You know what I mean? Good looking out, my homie. Thank you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You know? And people just tell each other what they want to hear, you know? Not my job. Good to see you. And it's like, I'd rather you challenge me. I'd rather you tell me I was wrong and say, nah, I don't see it like that, right? Because then we have something to talk about, right? If all you do is agree with me, we ain't even got nothing to talk about, right? We're just sitting around agreeing with each other. But if somebody says, no, I don't think that's right. I think you're wrong. That's where growth happens. You know what I mean? That's where growth happens. Because whenever people challenge you on your beliefs and you're man enough to say, well, fuck, maybe I'm wrong. And if you're wrong, that gives you a chance to learn something, right? If you're right, if you're just right all the time, what are you learning? If you were already right in the first place, how could you learn anything, right? Wesley, good looking out, my homie. Thank you. Oh, go get it. Got the membership. Got the membership, right? The homie came over today and he was wearing his hat. And I was getting ready to jump on one of those scooters and said, "Man, I need a what's called? I need a hat so my head don't get burned. I got a freshly shaved head, you know what I mean? Just got out. I had to shave it up." The homie said, "Here, take this hat." All right, let's go. That'll work. So this is my hat now. This is my first day out hat. You know what I mean? Man, they had me in Douglas County. You guys don't know what Douglas County is. Douglas County is one of the richest counties in the United States. These people got so much goddamn money, and they are not putting up with nothing in their county. You smack somebody, you getting charged. They charge you for anything. You steal something, or you broke something, they're gonna charge you with vandalism. You break something in the pot, you smack somebody in the mouth, they're gonna charge you with assault. You know what I mean? Like this county is off the chain. You gotta toe the line in Douglas County. I tell you what, they ain't putting up with nothing. But run them lights up, man. Run them lights up. Yeah, they ain't putting up with nothing in Douglas. But it's very clean. It's very clean. They got a lot of nice stuff, and they made me a trustee. Believe it or not, normally you got to be sentenced to be a trustee. They made me a trustee. They put me in the kitchen, man. Within like a week, I started chefing some shit up, man. They let me have the run of the place. They said this dude knows what he's doing. I'm in there making cake. I'm making apple pie cake, and all peanut butter cookies and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean, changing the menu up for the homies, feeding the homies and sending, and then getting into special diets and sending, if anybody knows about special diets, you know what I mean? Because if you got a homie back at the pod and he's a diabetic, he gets a special tray. This is some insider stuff from jail. You know what I mean? The homie, one of the homies will be kosher, one of the homies will be diabetic or something like that. So then you push up on the diet dude and you say, hey homie, what's the homie's name? Oh, the homie's name's Rocky Strong. Rocky Strong's diabetic. Here, slip that in his tray. Slip some apple pie cake in his tray. Slip some of these peanut butter cookies in his tray. You know what I mean? So I'm sending shit back to the homies. You know what I mean? It was cool. But it's still jail. You still lost your freedom. Thank God the judge seen that I wasn't, you know what I mean? That, hey, the DA was trying to send me back to prison. That's what my deal was. After all this time, I've been sober for 12 years. Been sober, crime-free for 12 years. They said, oh, you done fucked up again. Prison. That's my deal. Oh, hell no, man. I got to bond out. I was going to write it out. I was going to just take a little deal. You know what I mean? If they'd offered me something reasonable, if they'd offered me a reasonable sentence, some probation or something like that, I'd have taken it. They offered me prison. I'm halfway through a master's program. I got 12 years sober, paid off all my court fines, fees, did everything I was supposed to do. I bumped my head one time. Prison. Right back to prison. That's what they wanted to do. Anything I ever said, you said. We continue. Life happens. We continue to learn. Exactly. Elon Musk. Fort Morgan in the house. Fort Morgan in the house. Well, who would have thunk it? Fort Morgan. Wonder who that is. Facts, who are you talking to? What did you do, Gangish? Can you talk about it? What did I do? I didn't do a goddamn thing. I'm innocent. I'm innocent of all charges. What I can do is tell you my nose is running. What I can do is tell you what they charged me with, which is some ridiculous shit. Damn. I digress. You actually did that. Fort Morgan, Colorado. We're worth more to them in jail, prison, than out here free. 100%. 100%. The prison industrial complex is real. But that's part of America. That's part of being in America. That's what, we can't put the cart before the horse, right? Did a bunch of people sit around and say, hey, if we lock a bunch of people up, we'll make a bunch of money? No, I don't think that happened. I think this is America, and we've got a free spirit here. There's the idea that nobody's better than the next man in America, right? We shook off the royalty from England, right? Because there was the royal class, there was the nobility, what they called the nobility, and then there was the peasants. We were the peasants at the bottom. And if you could sock your neighbor in the mouth if you was a peasant, but you sock a duke in the mouth or something like that, that's a death sentence. A couple hundred years ago, that's a death sentence, right? Because they were better people than us. Run them lights up, man. They were better people than us. We shook that off. We said, no, this is America. We're all created equal, right? And so because of that, we have, and then we enshrined it with a bunch of rights and said, nah, man, we're free, right? This is the highest instantiation of freedom that the world has ever known. The American experiment. This is it. This is the freest human beings have ever been or ever will be. And if you think I'm lying, look what happened during the whenever everybody got to call. Look what happened in Canada. They say Canada's so free, right? They slammed the whole place down. Look at New Zealand, Australia. They were putting people in camps, right? This is the highest instantiation of freedom. This is the most freedom we've ever given human beings in the history of the world, is the American experiment that's happening right now. So what comes along with that, we have the biggest prison system in the world. We have the biggest criminal justice system in the world. Now, the American way isn't, we'll just lock a bunch of people up. The American way is, all these people are locked up, how are we going to make money off them? Right? Because that's what we do here, is we look at a situation and say, hey, I can make some money off that. You know what I mean? Okay, well, we got to build some prisons to lock all these people up because we got all these asshole criminals here, right? Everybody thinks they got the right to do whatever the hell they want because they're so free. So, well, shit. I know somebody who does concrete. Well, I know somebody who does construction. Well, they can build a prison. Well, I know the dude who runs the town. We can find a lot. We can find a plot of land to build it on, and da 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 da. And then they get the permits signed off, and they pay the money where it needs to go, and the city gets a bunch of money because all these people got to file permits to build the prison and pay all the taxes and da 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 da. And then before you know it, it's built into a prison industrial complex. So that's my personal belief. I don't think there was a bunch of people who planned this out. I think it was a response, because that's what America does. If we look at the war in Ukraine, right? We didn't want Russia to invade, right? That's not what we were looking for. We wish that Russia hadn't have done this, but they did it. So how are we going to make money off it? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll send $100 billion to Ukraine. I don't know what the number is now. Like I said, I've been out of the loop for a little while. But we say, okay, we'll send $100 billion to Ukraine. But what do? We actually send $20 billion to Ukraine. And we take $80 billion and we give it to Lockheed Martin. We give it to Northrop Grumman. And we say, make us new weapons and give us all those old weapons. Give us $80 billion in old weapons, and we'll send those to Ukraine. And then we give $80 billion to the military industrial complex. And then if I'm a politician, what do? I'm going to go buy some Northrop Grumman stock, right? Because that's common sense. We just gave them $80 billion, right? It's common sense. If I knew there was $100 billion contract coming to, a defense company, the smartest thing I can do is go run over there and buy a bunch of stock, right? So it's the American way to profit off whatever happens. It don't matter what it is. Whatever you have the freedom to profit off anything. You can invest in Geo Group. Geo Group is the largest private prison system probably in the world. I don't know that for sure. It's the biggest one in America. Them or CCA. It's either them or CCA, Correctional Corporation of America. I'm not sure exactly which one's bigger. I believe it's Geo Group though. And now my understanding is, because I did happen to buy a bunch of Geo Group stock whenever it was really low. It was around $7 a share. Well, Geo Group pivoted, and the climate in America said, we don't want to lock everybody up anymore. It's not good to lock everybody up. We're hurting a bunch of people. We've destroyed a generation of families. My generation, everybody got felonies. You know what I mean? All my homies are felons, right? They destroyed a generation of black men. There's a whole generation of black and brown men that got felonies now. You know what I mean? And I went along for the ride with them. But they decided after, 30 years of this, 35 years of this, they decided, oh, maybe that's a bad idea to make everyone, to lock everybody up. They did this. Good looking out, my homie. How long were you gone, and what were the charges you're innocent of? Oh, I got off topic, didn't I? Remind me. Oh no, he sent 10. Okay, I'm rambling. I'm rambling about the industrial complex. You're right. Okay. So initially, they charged me with 17 felonies. me see if I can remember. There was 2 motor vehicle thefts that they charged me with. There was 10 counts of identity theft, I believe, or possession of identification. 10 counts of possession of an identification document. But a lot of that was nonsense, right? Like one of them was just to discuss one of them, right? One of them was a car that I had just gotten from my homeboy. He gave me the title. I hadn't had it put in my name yet. So they find a title with somebody else's name on it. And they're like, oh, well, this is something you stole from somebody or something like that. Like it was somebody else's identification. So a lot of that stuff got dropped. But so it was 10 counts of identification, possession of identification devices. That's 10, that's 2. And 5 counts of possession of financial transaction devices is what they charged me with. Now, they've consolidated all of that, and they offered me 1 felony, right? After all this nonsense, and they charged me with 2 motor vehicle thefts, right? But they're claiming it's for 1 car. They charged me with 2 motor vehicle thefts for 1 car, because what they're accusing me of is they say it matches 2 separate definitions of the same crime, so they can charge me twice. No, come on, man. And so anyway, they threw all the spaghetti at the wall like they like to. They like to scare you, right? What are you doing? I don't have. Oh, Glamis, hell yeah, good looking out. Yeah. So I don't have my glasses on. Can't see for nothing. How long were you gone? And 2 months. I was in the county for 2 months. Like I said, I relapsed. I relapsed in February of 2024. That's whenever the homie died. The homies died. And like I said, I can't be on YouTube getting donations while I'm doing drugs, because people's donations are gonna end up going to drug. You know what I mean? They're gonna go to pay for drugs. It's just gonna happen. You know what I mean? There's no way around that. You're gonna end up spending somebody's donation money on drugs, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't come on here. It wasn't that I didn't want to be on YouTube. I love my YouTube family. You know what I mean? I love all the motherfuckers on YouTube. Even the people I don't get along with, I get along with everything. I love the rigmarole that is YouTube. You know what I mean? Being involved in the mix. But I couldn't bring myself to accept donations, and I knew the donations would come. And I just couldn't bring myself to accept donations while I was doing drugs. So that's the main reason I wasn't on YouTube. Okay, and so now back to the charges. We got 2 motor vehicle thefts, 10 counts of possession of identification devices, and 5 counts of possession of financial transaction devices, right? All of that has been boiled down into, they're still holding on to this two motor vehicle thefts for the same damn car. They're still holding on to that. So I still got 2 of those. I've got 2 counts of identity theft. They charged me with 2 counts of identity theft. 1 count of possession of a financial transaction device. And then there's some misdemeanors. So right now I got 4 felonies and a couple misdemeanors. I don't remember exactly what the misdemeanors are. Fictitious plates or something. I think it's a fictitious plate and a misdemeanor theft. But then the misdemeanor theft is coupled. It's like they're double dipping on everything, right? They're double dipping on everything. But they said, okay, well, what we'll do is we're willing to drop all this for 1 count of possession of a financial transaction device. So that tells you how much, and it's not like, oh, their case is strong or, oh, their case is weak. It's not that. It's that they just threw a bunch of frivolous charges on me. They just threw a bunch of nonsense on me for no reason. You know what I mean? That's more what it is than anything. They just threw all these crazy charges on me. And then they're like, oh, but we'll let you plead out to one little itty bitty charge over here. It's like, why you guys charge me with all that crazy shit? I got booked in with 17 felonies. That's why my bond was $50,000. Because you guys booked me in with 17 felonies. You know what I mean? So it looks crazy. I go in front of the judge, and that's why it took me 2 months to get out. If they'd have charged me with something reasonable, then maybe I wouldn't have had a bond like that. I would have been out. But who knows? Maybe it was a good thing. Maybe it was a good thing they charged me with all them felonies. Because I needed to go sit. I needed to go get my head right, man. You know? Because I caught another case over there in Denver, right? They charged me with possession of some pills, right? Like a user bag of pills is what they're charging me with. And they let me out on a PR bond before I was even sober, right? I never even had a chance to go to sleep. I didn't get a chance to go to sleep, shake it off, get my head right, nothing. Denver's so overcrowded with criminals right now, with people everybody just being arrested, just left and right, being thrown in jail. They're just harassing the homeless people. They harass the homeless people endlessly. There's so many homeless people in Denver right now. There's so many homeless people in Denver. I was homeless for a little while, running around out there in the streets. You know what I mean? Luckily, I never had to sleep outside or anything like that. But, you know, because I know a lot of people and my people love me. But it's so wild out there, man. Like Denver wasn't like this, you know. Whenever I was growing up, homie, the homeless wanted to be homeless. Run them likes up, man. Run them likes up. Whenever I was growing up, homeless people wanted to be homeless in Denver. Denver has a very good economy. Even in 2008, whenever the economy crashed like that, Denver made it through it. Denver made it through a lot of it, the housing crisis, all kinds of shit. And Denver made it through that pretty solid. You could generally work. If you wanted to work, you could work in this city. There's a lot of money here, a lot of money in this city. And the homeless people, a lot of them were mentally ill. That's what it was. You know, there was a lot of people who had mental health issues or people who really just wanted to be homeless. It's not like that anymore. It's gotten so bad, and the cost of living out here is so bad. They go, like these outreach workers will just go into the homeless camps and try to find people who seem like they got their head kind of screwed on right. And they'll be like, dude, we can get you out of here. I know people they've done it to. Like they'll just go find somebody and they'll be like, you don't seem like a belligerent asshole. Do you want to go to this hotel? The government annexed a bunch of hotels too. During the, whenever everybody had the cough, the government just took a bunch of people's hotels. Like if your hotel was a problem or something like that, if there was a lot of drug issues and stuff like that there, they shoot in and be like, hey man, check this out. Either we can take your hotel for public, what's it called? Nuisance abatement. That's what they call it out here. Nuisance abatement. It's like if you get caught with your car, and they use that law to take your car. Like if you gangbang, a lot of times back in the day, if you're using a car to gangbang, you know what I mean? Like if your car was a known gangbanging car, they take your car. They call it nuisance abatement. Or if you were a known drug dealer and they couldn't actually catch you doing anything, but they knew you were a nuisance to the community, they'd find a way to take it. They catch you smoking weed in your car and they take your car. They make you pay like $2,500 to get it out, right? So this is what they did to the hotels. They pushed up on these hotels and said, check it out, you guys can sell us your hotels, and we're going to use it to house Venezuelans, mostly is what it was. We're going to use it to house Venezuelans. They didn't say that, but that's what it ended up being, right? They were offering these landlords all kinds of extra incentives to rent to Venezuelans, right? God, the Venezuelans are loud. Not to be racist, but oh my God, they're loud. Why are they so loud? They yell at each other. You hear them yelling at each other like something's wrong. Like you would think that something's wrong. Like you ever hear some Chinese people talking to each other and it sounds like one of them's pissed at the other one or something like that? The Venezuelans are like that, but it's Spanish. They just scream at each other. At first I thought there was, first time I went over to the homegirl's house, I went over to the homegirl Liza's house, and they had moved some Venezuelans in next door, and you could hear them through the wall. I was like, is that Like a domestic violence, or what are they doing? Like they came to this country to beat up their wife, or what's going on over there? And she's like, that's how they talk all the time. They scream at each other. I don't know. I don't know what it's about. I don't know enough about Venezuelan culture to tell you exactly what it's about. Um, but they took all these hotels, said they were going to give them to the Venezuelans. They were going to put up the Venezuelans. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? I don't know what everybody else is doing in whatever city you're in, but Denver is pretty much worn out with the Venezuelans. That whole situation that happened in Aurora, people have all seen the video from Aurora that they play on a loop where they're kicking in this door and shit like that. I've heard it described, if anybody remembers the movie New Jack City, the black people out, because there's a lot of black people in Aurora. Denver has a city right next to it, a suburb that's called Aurora, but it's not like a suburb. Aurora is not suburban at all. Aurora is inner city, ghetto. There's parts of Aurora that are just as dangerous as part of Denver, right? So it's like a sister city. It's more like a sister city than it is a suburb, right? So parts of Aurora are very, very rough. Parts of Aurora are poorer than any part of Denver, right? And there's a lot of black people over Aurora. That's where they keep all the black folks. And the black folks described me. They said the Venezuelans had it looking like New Jack City. They said they're sleeping in the hallways. People, you know what I mean? Slumped out, just slumped out. They were kicking. They basically took over. That video everybody's seen. This is what I did some investigation into. You know the videos everybody's seen where the Venezuelans are going to that door and they got a banger and they're booting in that door, they're kicking in that door, they're smacking it with a gun, with a banger, trying to, you know what I mean? You know what they were doing? They they went to that apartment building in Aurora and said, basically started charging everybody rent. Like they were in the joint, like on some organized crime shit, charging everybody taxes. And they're like, the mob at least has the decency to charge taxes to businesses. These fools were charging taxes to people. They're like, this is our building now. The government gave us this building. This is our building. We run this shit now. And you can't do that here. You can't do that in America. they thought they were back in Venezuela, thought that they were going to do whatever the hell they wanted. You can't do that shit here. You know what I mean? Not at all. So the city's over these fools. Not to mention Trump. I mean, Trump's doing whatever Trump's doing, and there seems to be some good and there seems to be some bad in what Trump's doing. Trump's cleaning house, though, that's for sure. But I think he might be going a little harder than he needs to, you know. And whenever I talk to the Mexicans, you know, because there's a gang of ISIS whenever you're in jail. I talk to the ISIS about the situation. They're not happy with the Venezuelans either. They're like, hey, homie, we've been here for 50 years trying to make a good trying to make a good name for the Mexicans in this country, you know, and we understand that there's some problems. We understand the drugs and the cartels and the gangs. We understand all that. But the overwhelming amount of Mexicans that come to this country are law-abiding citizens that are providing. And they provide tax revenue and they do jobs that they work their fucking asses off. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? They work like two white men, you know? And they're like, these Venezuelans are fucking it up. They're fucking it up for everybody. They're making it worse. They're ruining our reputation. And now a bunch of Mexicans are getting kicked out of the country who didn't even do nothing wrong, right? Hardworking Mexicans have been here going to school, working a job, doing everything they were supposed to do. They're like people from El Salvador, people from Honduras. These people from Honduras, they're fleeing a fucking war zone. Honduras is a war zone, dude. That is a broken country right now. El Salvador has been a broken country, right? El Salvador, Costa Rica, all these countries. Like Costa Rica is like people don't talk about Costa Rica a lot. Costa Rica is like the prostitution capital of the Western Hemisphere, right? The sexual trafficking capital of the Western Hemisphere. It's a rough place. You know, El Salvador is right down there too. Same area. Honduras. This is all the northern end of South America, right? All those countries that are on the northern end of South America. They are going through a lot right now. And these people that are coming from Honduras a lot of them are fleeing death, you know, and they're being sent back to their country now because of what these Venezuelans did. Now, that's not necessarily my point of view. I don't know enough about it. I couldn't say that I was educated enough about it. That's the information that I'm getting from the Pisces. This is how Pisces feel. They're not happy. And I'll tell you this, these Venezuelans came out here. They came out here knocking down jewelry stores is what they started doing. They were knocking down a lot of jewelry stores, robbing a gang of jewelry stores. And they're stretching these fools out. Every one of them that I see, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. Da, da, da. And they're not handing out that now. Like, you got to do some serious shit to get a chunk like that now. They're giving people, you get 90 days for a stolen car out here right now. That's the penalty for a stolen car in the city of Denver. You get 90 days in the county. When I caught my cases, a stolen car gets you 3 years in prison, 2 to 3 years in prison. That was about an average. You were going to prison for sure. It was so many people to prison whenever I went to prison that we ended up, you'll hear me call people a knack sometimes. VPS is a fucking knack. NAC is an acronym, NAC. He's not a criminal. And you can also mean non-affiliated Caucasian for white folks that ain't criminals, ain't with the business. White people that ain't with the business are just civilians who ended up in prison, right? So there's literally an acronym and a name that we call people out here like, this dude's a fucking knack, homie. And it was amongst the criminals, this is what we would say about people who weren't supposed to be in prison, right? Like, this dude that like habitually beating up his wife, right? Like, you're not a criminal. You just beat up your wife. You just a pussy. You know what I mean? You can't beat nobody else up, so you go home from the bar and beat your wife up. You know, habitual drunk drivers, shit like that. These are knacks, homie. You're not a crook. You're not a criminal. You're a weirdo. Or weirdos. Sex offenders. Sex offenders are knacks too. You're not a criminal. Pyromaniacs, shit like that. People who just do dumb shit for no reason, right? All these people back in the day would get locked up. They would get incarcerated, right? And the system was filled with them. They were filling the system up with people who didn't need to be in prison, who never should have been in prison in the first place. Now, it was ripe ground for us to take advantage of those people. You know what I mean? That's what we do with Next. Take advantage of them, use them, whatever, because if you're a criminal, prison is college, right? And it's your college. So if the NACs ain't supposed to be there, NACs ain't supposed to be in my college, what do you do to somebody who's not supposed to be in your school? You don't even go here, homie. You don't even go here. What are you doing here? You know what I mean? So you're going to take advantage. They're not sending NACs to prison, right? You really got to mess up. But they sure wanted to send my ass to prison, right? But luckily, I caught myself. Luckily, they caught me, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to die. I didn't want to die. And whenever I did die, like I said, I felt like my debt was paid. I gave my life to the homie. But by that time, I was so deep in the trance that I couldn't pull myself out. I was just living that lifestyle. It was just at that point you're in the deep end, homie, and you're treading water, homie, just trying to survive, just trying to keep your head above water. You're already out there in the deep end. I wish I could have pulled myself out of it without catching the new felonies, right? But that's not a reality. Maybe I needed to catch some felonies. You know what I mean? I needed a wake up call. But we'll see what happens with it. But if you see Rick from Vegas Profile Stories, tell him Denver, tell him he's got a recall in Denver, homie. He needs to come clean this shit up out here. We'd like to speak to him. Or get at me on Messenger. He's got my number. He knows my number. He knows my. We still friends on Facebook, right? He got them bolts. Swazi, he got his patch, right? Stand on that, homie. Answer for what you did, right? That's what men do. We answer for what we do. We take our lumps, right? Anyway, my friends, I'm gonna end it there. It's great to see y'all. It's great to hear from y'all. You're gonna be hearing a lot more from me in the near future. I'll be going live at least a couple times a week. I'm glad to be back on here. I'm gonna make a whole video about the Vegas profile story situation. Talk about as much as I can. But it's good to see you guys, man. It's good to see all the same crowd, man. Facts, good looking out, brother. Good looking out. You guys are awesome. Glamis, good looking out. Run them likes up. Before we leave, run them likes up. Hit them likes, my friends. I'll be back in the near future, though. I gotta go. I gotta get my ass to bed. I gotta go get an ID. First thing in the morning, I gotta wake my ass up. I need to go get an ID. I need to go hit the food stamp office real quick. And I'm gonna go grab an Obama phone, just so I got a phone that works. This phone ain't even hooked up. My phone ain't even hooked up. I just got out. This phone ain't even hooked up. I'm just on the Wi-Fi here, getting with you guys on the Wi-Fi. And I need to go down to the Segunda and get get a keyboard. I probably need a webcam and some shit like that. Just some cheap stuff to get started. You know what I mean? But luckily, like I said, the homie Angelo, thank God, the homie Angelo held my computer for me. I still got the computer. I got the brains of the situation. I got the computer and I got the monitor, and that's what matters. You know what I mean? And the motherfuckers who didn't hold my shit for me, the pussy motherfuckers who didn't, fuck you, homie. Call yourself your family, homie. And I get out and I don't even got clothes, homie. That's some pussy shit. Like, like, we ripping and running, dog. I get it. The tools might not be there. The loot, right? If we out here robbing and stealing and doing whatever we doing, loot's all fair game, right? Booty's all fair game. If you a pirate, right? But my clothes? What the fuck you do with my clothes? Y'all don't even fit my clothes, man. That's fucked up. What the fuck y'all do with my clothes, man? That's some pussy shit. So thank you, my friends. Have a good night. Hit that like on the way out. I'll see y'all soon. Later. How do I end this thing? I don't even know how to end this thing. Boop. Process system isn't working. Process system. What the hell is the process system? Oh. End stream.